I'm finally bringing you with me outside again. It's been a while since I filmed on this little GoPro. I didn't feel comfortable bringing my big camera, or bigger camera, because I'm on a little little skateboard. It's a 1970s style mini cruiser, which really works for me because I'm not very tall and I have tiny feet, and a regular skateboard or cruiser board just feels too big. And yeah, this is a form of play outside. It absolutely 100% reminds me of what it's like being a kid playing outside. Obviously in Holland we would play more outside in this period of the year, so all of those smells, they just bring back so much, and I'm in a bit of a nostalgic mood, but also very happy. As a 30-something-year-old, doing a little bit of a skateboarding session every so often when it's this weather, because otherwise it's not possible, or much harder, not as enjoyable. It also doubles as a workout, which I don't mind at all. It's very nice, and it's also a form of relaxation because I am in nature. I make sure to pick out the pretty paths, even though every so often, even when recording this, I have to be quiet to let an airplane pass by, because they do make a lot of noise still. I mean, we are still in the city, you know, but just finding some treasured hidden spots, somewhat hidden spots. And I'm here barefooted in the grass, always very nice and tingly. And at first I didn't have so much to tell you, but I figured just to be sure, I'm gonna bring at least one camera that I can talk to, that I used to talk to, so I can talk to you guys. So I hope you like that. And when stopping here, I thought, it's a shame I didn't bring a tarot deck. Except that I totally forgot that I did bring a deck. It's not a tarot deck, but it is Morgan's tarot, an oracle deck. So let's actually shuffle the cards and see what comes up, because this is a weirdo. But I guess I just felt like it. I am careful on this little skateboard because I'm not very good at it. I'm just good enough to not fall. But I did take a bit of a bigger risk because over there, on that side, I already went as far as I wanted to go, and now from this point, I'm just gonna have a sip of water and go back home. But over there was this hill, and I stood on top and I thought, should I take it slow? Or should I just bomb it? And as I went, I thought, I'm just gonna bomb it. I'm just gonna bomb it. There I went. I mean, it's nothing spectacular at all, but it just, the fact that I didn't fall and that I even looked graceful, maybe even a little bit cool, because people don't know how old I am, you know? I guess it's not age, there's no age restriction of doing this. It's just, it feels a little weird sometimes, I guess. Also, because I always do this alone. I always do this on my own. It's kind of like a weird hobby of mine and a way for me to enjoy this weather and enjoy a bit of nature and outside. Because I tend to stay cooped up in my little apartment when I'm alone. And this way, I take myself out of the apartment and it's more than just a walk, you know? And also when I don't have the doggy, yeah, I walk myself. But it just brought me so much joy. My inner child, you know, as a little kid, it brought me so much joy that I just went for it and I just did it, and I wasn't afraid. Of course, a little bit of a doubt in my mind, like, should I do this? But then as I went, I thought, yeah, there's no way back now. At least not really. I can always jump off the little board or break with the heels, you know, but I didn't. And that was fun. That was fun. That was play. That was letting go. That was, just see what happens. There are no mistakes. Spelled with a mistake. That's nice. It's and then we see planet Earth in this solar system. This brings me to a thought I had this morning at the breakfast table. I pulled the Thoth moon card, was for something specific, and then for something else, what I'm currently studying, you could say, I got the Eight of Discs, Prudence. So Eight of Discs to me is always the work card and the ladder card, but also in the Thoth especially, it's a safety card. All of those flowers, they are secure and they are safe and hidden and kept underneath those leaves. So to me, at the same time, that is to go for what is safe, to go for what is known, to work. And that it almost like it made a sentence, those two meanings together. And I thought, okay, so know for what I know, what works. So trust the tradition, trust the technique. It's a very dancer thing to say. If you're having a bad day, trust the technique. Go back to basics. But it wasn't just about learning and studying and doing what I've been doing so far for the past 3 weeks. It was also about nature. It was also about going to these roots. It was also about going back today to what I know to be there, always. The earth, not always, but during my lifetime at least, this lifetime. Do you know what I mean? I can always revert back to what I know is true and real and here, because it's not gonna go. It's not gonna leave. It's a given, and what a wonderful way to appreciate it, to visit it and be aware of it. So the there are no mistakes card with a mistake in it, it's obviously at the same time saying it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be there. It's not about being the best you can be. It's about showing up. And same with this little play that I'm doing now with the skateboard. I don't have to be the best. This is probably one of the first things in my life that is a hobby where I feel I don't have to be the best. And this thing caught on because now I have several silly hobbies that I know I'm not the best at all by far, but I enjoy it. And so it's there for me and I can revert back to it. You know what? I don't think everything happens for a reason. I think you can say that, but there's a limit to it because some things happen that don't make sense. Some things happen that don't hold a lesson that you could have learned without that horrible thing happening. So in the grand scheme of things, there are no mistakes, I guess, because everything is energy and energy is that one thing that never dies. So things they are always in balance. Something is taken, something is given. Sure, but for me personally, I really try to stay away from things that, project a truth and one truth. Everything happens for a reason. I know people like to say that. I know people love to believe it. And for some people that gives comfort. And for some people that's true. It's just there's more than one truth. So there are no mistakes. I like this card for that because there's a mistake in this statement. And that's not something bitter. That's not the hard truth. That's not the Justice card Libra thing. Well, maybe it is, I don't know. But in the grand scheme of things, I guess everything is as it should be because we'll never truly know. So we might as well accept that everything is as it should be. But everything happens for a reason? No. Wait, let's see what the guidebook says. There are no mistakes. The ancient Chinese said this to each other before business negotiations. Whatever happens on the relative plane, the cosmos as a whole makes no errors. The uncreated, unborn, and unmade always provide new alternatives. There's no possibility of ever straying from the path, whatever its turns may be. This is not a license to do anything, but an assertion that the ego or the illusion of ego tends to create problems. What I added here, because this is a little booklet that I made, and I tend to add things, is don't let your ego and expectations stand in the way of how something goes. It brings in all of those things that I thought of trust and knowing what's there for you and being able to revert back to it, and at the same time to also let go, because you don't have to be the best at everything. I don't have to be the best at everything. I no longer have to be the best at everything. Because you know what? As a ex-dancer, is there even a thing as an ex-dancer? Maybe. There's life after dance. I'm a dance teacher now. I used to be a professional dancer, performing dancer. As an ex-performing dancer, I guess I should say, I never had any hobbies because there was simply no time. Everything went to dance. And sure, I liked music, I liked going to concerts and all of that stuff, but the dedication was only to one thing, and that was the dance, the art. And well, I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. I'm just saying I'm at a different place in my life now, and I want to be more gentle, and I want to be more okay with things, and I want to just relax and have fun, because that's also part of this existence. So why not bring that in a little bit more, and a little bit more consciously, and a little bit more lovingly? Because yeah, I am kind of result driven, but I can name quite a few things now, including the skateboard rides. However silly that might seem, I don't care, because it works for me. It's nice. It's something nice that I do for myself, with myself. It's a date with myself, you know? I don't have to be the best. I can just relax and do it, and have fun, and enjoy the journey. And I don't have to get better every time I do it. That's also one of those things. I just do. This might be a given to some of you. I don't know, but it wasn't to me. So I feel the urge to share this. Let's pull another card. What comes next? It's not a future question, really. It's just like, what's the next chapter? What's the next focus? Doubt. Oh. Your doubt is your faith, if necessary, in your particular case, perhaps. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not know everything. My doubt is my faith. I am such a skeptic, and still a believer. I'm a skeptic believer. Let's see what the guidebook says. I alphabetized the guidebook, so this would be at W. No, that's Y. W is V. English, whatever. From a transcendent... Okay, here we go. This is the crazy guidebook, which I love. From the transcendental, non-attached perspective, doubt can be experienced as perfection. Wow, we just talked about perfection and all of that. At certain times, it is more healthy to admit doubt than try to suppress it. Yeah. Together with this card, we are talking a little bit about that toxic positivity, aren't we? Not saying that everything happens for a reason is toxic positivity, except to some people who are going through some stuff, it will be. And I'm not saying that we can be mindful of everyone, And we do make mistakes, okay? But right now I am so in between. It's absolutely finding that balance between the skepticism and the doubt and the questioning everything. Because that's a philosophy in itself, a life philosophy in itself. And it's nice because it makes me think and wonder and question and search and explore. Okay? I'm a seeker, I'm an explorer, like so many of you, so many of us. It's between that and the knowing what's there and what will always be there. So the skeptic believer. And gnosis, knowing, to the doubt card I added, believe in your ideas rather than hang on to your beliefs. Question everything. I love this deck. It's just so much fun to have a conversation with, and it's like, yes, it's a trickster, but also it's a very wise trickster deck energy, because I'm having a conversation about these big, huge things that are seemingly out of my control. And it's just philosophies and trying to make sense of things. And I don't know, it just works. I just really like it, and I appreciate this thing. And I like how synchronistic this is to my kitchen table thoughts this morning. Where on the spectrum are you? I kind of want to know. Where do you consider yourself? And what do you think your friends and family and people around you consider you to be at? More the skeptical side of questioning things? Or maybe, I don't know, skeptical in the sense that you don't question? That's also possible. Or more on the believer side of the love, everything happens for a reason direction. And do you, I'm genuinely curious, do you recognize this dilemma? I don't even really want to call it that, because I am okay with this being the way that it is. To be able to completely fall back on these things I know to always be there. It's the nature thing, it's the going out thing, it's the being with family, with friends, it's the connecting to people, connecting to their energy, connecting to deity even. It's self-expression, it's just getting off of the couch and start dancing with no audience, with no music. You know what I mean? It's all of these things. They're a form of communicating with what else is there in the universe, communicating to all the other things, communicating to everything, because it's all one and all of that crap. But, it's a form of prayer. Yeah, it's communicating, right? Prayer is communicating. And at the same time, to just still wonder, is this all real? And I've said this before on my channel. I think real is whatever you make it. I think truth is personal. It's how we perceive things. It's how we see the world, is what we believe in ourselves. And there's no one truth. But there can be a truth for you, right? Or, just like in my case, several truths. I am so bloody paradoxical. And so is my deity. And so is my favorite deck. It all aligns. It all makes sense. And I'm just making myself laugh at this point. So I'm gonna stop. I am so glad I brought this deck. It's really good. It's really, really good. I know it's not for everyone, but everyone who owns this deck, to my knowledge, loves it. And it's funny, but it always blows my mind. Or at least you can have some wonderful conversations with it. Okay, so I'm gonna go back on a little board, go home, have lunch, and yeah, maybe I'll take you along for the ride back. Not doing this.